Hi everybody! So today I'm trying something different, and I've been thinking about for a long time since I'm doing more and more movie reviews all the time, and I still do the box reviews, but having my box backdrop might be a little confusing for people that are just following the movie reviews, and so I'm trying something different. And today I have my curtains as my backdrop, and I'm curious to know what you think. If you like it, put in the comment section below, let me know, and I can go from there. Eventually I'd like to be able to invest in a green screen and all the lighting and everything. Like, that's in my wish list and something I'm looking to get. But for now, let me know if you like this. But I thought it would be fun today. I found a tag that was actually a book tag, and it's kind of the theme, I feel like, of this week is books. With my mom coming, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really had fun doing those videos with her of our favorite classical books, and I found this really fun tag by a booktuber named Christina Horner, and it is called the Inside Out tag, and you guys know how much I love Inside Out. I thought it was brilliant. So this was, I thought, a really creative tag that she did, and so I thought I would do it on my channel, but not just include books, but include movies as well. So each of these questions corresponds with a different emotion, and like the movie Inside Out, obviously. And so the first question is, what book makes you the happiest? I wanted to think of a book that's not challenging really on any level, that just makes me happy. And one I thought of was the writer Sophie Kinsella, because her books are silly, but they're really well written and they're really funny. And if I just want to laugh and enjoy a book, I will read one of her books, and I'm reading one actually right now that I am loving. We'll see if it ends great, but I'm really loving this book, Finding Audrey. I think it is so funny, cracking me up. Also love, she wrote The Undomestic Goddess, which I think is super funny and witty. It's a silly plot. Like, all her plots are kind of silly, but her characters are strong and her writing is really strong. A similar movie like that just makes me happy is anything by Nora Ephron. Kind of the same thing. Anything by Sophie Kinsella, anything by Nora Ephron as far as movies makes me happy. I really love You've Got Mail. I love the writing. I think it's really funny. I love the chemistry of Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. I like that it's a movie about work and about reading and books and New York and just everything. Okay, the next question is, what book grossed you out the most? There was The Hot Zone. That was a book I read in high school, and it's all about the Ebola virus. It's pretty disgusting and scary. That would be one I could put a little bit later on. And another one that I thought was disgusting would be The Jungle, Upton Sinclair. It's an important book. It's not really a great book as far as the writing, but it's really gross, like hearing about all the stuff that goes into the sausage meat and the factories and everything. It's pretty disgusting. As far as the movie that grossed me out, there's a lot of comedies that are disgusting and I don't really like. And I don't know, the first one I could think of that came off the top of my head, I know a lot of people like it, I didn't like it, was Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, which I thought was really pretty gross. And the next one is, which book scared you the most? And I don't read really any scary kind of books, so it was hard to think of something, but I definitely, The Hot Zone would qualify, because that book's actually set in my hometown where I grew up when I read it, which is really scary. And, it's like real life scary. It's Ebola scary. So that one would be one. And also one I really did like as a little girl is by Peppermints in the Parlor by Barbara Brooks Wallace. And it's kind of a gothic novel for kids. This girl, she ends up having to live in her aunt's old creepy house. And it's like, it's sort of like this nursing home, but there's like kind of this nurse Ratchet kind of character who's like keeping a tight fist on everything, and it's a good little mystery and a good little scary. It has some good scares in it. Another one I thought of is the Roald Dahl's Witches, both movie and book. Pretty scary, the idea that all these sweet old ladies are really witches trying to eat children. It's pretty scary. There's movies that are scary. One I thought of that I haven't really talked about that much on the channel is The Shadow of a Doubt by Alfred Hitchcock. And this movie's really creepy because it starts out with just this beloved relationship between this girl and her uncle. She's even kind of named after her uncle. She goes by the name Charlie. His name is Charles. And she's so, excited to have him come visit. But as the story, she starts to notice things. And as she starts to notice things, there's this case of the Merry Widow murderer. And he's on the run. And she starts to wonder if her uncle might be not so great. Anyway, that's like such a scary thought, like the person that you love the most in the world actually being like a really terrible person. So this is one of Hitchcock's underrated gems. Next one is, which book made you cry the most? And the one that I thought of is The Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, and by Linda Brett or Harry Jacobs, depending on the printing. And this book is a gut-wrenching book, but it's also really inspirational and really beautiful, and about her struggle to get freedom for both herself and her children. And there's a section where she actually hides in her grandmother's house in a slot in the floorboard for 7 years, and she can just see there's this little hole, and she can see her children through the hole, and it's just devastating and very, very sad, but also it's not like an Oprah book or something where you just are depressed. It's actually like she's such a strong character, and it's such a moving. And I love at the end when she talks about her friend. She says, "Friend, it is a common word, often lightly used. Like other good and beautiful things, it may be tarnished by careless handling. But when I speak of Mrs. Bruce as my friend, the word is sacred." I love that. It's so beautiful. So this is a great book. It will make you cry, but it's a good cry. It's a moving cry. So as far as sad movies that make me cry, I thought there are a lot of war movies that you could pick. But I kind of just had to go with Schindler's List because it's just like a gut-wrenching experience. It takes like days to kind of heal from it, I felt like. I've really only seen it once, and that's all I really needed to see it. But I'll just never forget the scene with the girl with the red coat. I mean, it's just so sad. And so that would I think that's the saddest movie I've ever seen. The last question is, which book pissed you off the most? Which one made you angry? And I thought you could do like which one disappointed me the most, like angry in that sense. And I don't know, I couldn't really even think of a great one for that. Nothing like, how angry I was at the How I Met Your Mother finale or something like that. I can't really think of a book like that, but one that made me angry when I was little was The Diary of Anne Frank. And not because it's bad, but because it just makes you angry that kind of evil exists and that kind of thing can happen. And I think that for a lot of us, that's like the first book that we ever kind of came to terms with the existence of evil, was reading Anne Frank in school. And, that something like that can happen. And it should make you angry. It should make you upset. So that's one that I kind of think of in that way. And then another, as far as a movie that made me angry, one I think of is Bully, the 2012 documentary, because it brought back a lot of memories of my experience when I was bullied as a girl. And the thing that made me angry is that just the apathy on the part of the educators involved, and that here they have like video of these kids getting beaten and bullied, and they're just so like, oh, boys will be boys, we can't really do anything. They have whatever excuse they have, they manage to weasel their way out of doing something to help. And it just makes me so angry, because that's exactly what happened with me. Until my parents finally had to take me out of school, because the attitude of the educators, despite my getting physically pushed and shoved and things like that, it wasn't just verbal. That their attitude was just boys will be boys, and that's it. And that is just so wrong. And the other thing that made me angry was about that in that movie was the parents, they keep sending the kids. I understand that not everyone can do homeschool or private school or charter schools or whatever. I understand that sometimes kids do have to go to the school, but why do they have to go on the bus? Like, if you know that your kid is getting beat up on the bus and having these horrible experiences on the bus, like, find another way. Find someone who can carpool. Find someone who can take them. Like, I don't understand, like, why they keep putting their kids on these buses when they're having these horrible experiences. Like, that makes no sense to me. I don't get it, and that made me really angry. Like, so I was angry with the parents. I was angry with the school system, and, you know, oddly enough, I wasn't as angry at the bullies because they were children. I expect better from the adults. So that was a movie that made me really upset and really angry. So that is that's my Inside Out tag, and so I'm gonna tag Joseph Cohen Mason because he's so great and awesome, and I know and he's seen Inside Out this week, and I'm going to tag the Lawn Gnome just because he loves doing tags, and I'll tag the Rotoscopers, and I will tag who have amazing animation videos and podcast. And I will tag Brian Lomax because he does great things as well. So if you want to, but anybody can do this one if you want. I think it's a lot of fun. So I hope you're all doing great. Please subscribe to my channel and let me know what you think of Backdrop. Thanks so much. Bye.